Thank you, Professor. Now I'd like to invite Chetna to express her vote of thanks.
Hi, Sneha. Am I audible?
Yes, you're
Professor
audible.
Scotchbull? Yes, I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Professor Scotchbull, for enlightening us with a very nuanced analysis of democratic decline and rise of authoritarianism in US. As Sneha was mentioning in the introduction, so while I was listening to you, I was constantly thinking about my days of masters, which was probably 8 years back, and how I was introduced to your writings in our course on comparative government and politics. So much of our understanding, like initial understanding of comparative governments, structures, social revolutions, and their impact on state was actually shaped by your scholarship. So it's indeed a privilege that we are getting to hear you face to face for the first time. There are some important points from the presentation that I would like to highlight. The way you focused on the point that the democratic decline in US is not just happening because of the influence of certain leaders like Trump, but it is the impact is because of the long-term transformations within the Republican Party. So that's something that I found was very significant and something new it added to our understanding, because there's a common perception that Trump is becoming very popular and probably he is shaping what is happening to the Republican Party in US, but there's another perception to it. You also highlighted that there's a certain kind of combination between ethno-nationalist movement and the donor network, and that is driving a certain kind of radicalization within the Republican Party and contributing to rise of authoritarianism in US. That's something which can be seen happening in the Indian case as well. And your point on institutional erosion, institutionally capturing by the Republican Party and by the right-wing populist government was also very interesting, because that tends to delegitimize all other civil society organizations, that tends to delegitimize all the organizations, associations, and institutions of the state itself. Like, for instance, in India also it is happening. We are seeing that the election commission is being captured, and there's a constant push by a certain political party who's in power to align it with the agendas of the party. So there's a simultaneous process of institutional capturing. And then your point on minority authoritarian governance, that's also something very interesting and not just specific to US. That's also something that we can see happening in other parts of the world where democratic decline is taking place, that there's a process of creating the other, and then there's a certain kind of fear mongering and occasional threats and violence that are being unleashed upon the minorities to always keep them on the edge. So while I was listening to your presentation, I was able to draw a lot of parallels, that there is an institutional capturing in India and US both. There is a certain kind of delegitimization which is being done to make sure that there's a perception created of other institutions and other civil society organizations. There is a certain kind of convergence in terms of how the elite and the private entrepreneurs are being given space by the state. And at the same time, at the grassroots level, there's a certain kind of agenda running to shape people in an ideological manner. So both the things are happening there also, and both the things are happening here also. So because we live in India and we're seeing everything happening in front of our eyes, that's why while I was listening to you, I could my mind just kept on drawing parallels between the Indian and the US case. And the last point, which is very interesting about the patrimonial rulers, like a re-emergence of patrimonial rulers, all are me firsters and all want to, there's a certain kind of competition going on in terms of who can be more brutal. And as you said very rightly, they're not concerned about what the party is gaining or what the society is losing. They're more concerned about how we are being, as Neha said, portrayed as charismatic rulers. So they want to have all the loyalists around them. They want to delegitimize all the organization, and they want to make also sure that if you're not aligning with what I'm saying, you're going to face the repercussion. So that's also something very interesting. So I again thank you for inviting for accepting our invitation and for sharing such advanced analysis with us. We really hope that we get to hear more of you and you continue to come on our platform. And Sneha, thanks a lot to you as well for conducting the session very smoothly and for raising such nice questions. Thank you to the JNU lecture series for giving all of us a chance to listen to a scholar who has shaped our understanding of comparative politics and government and social revolutions. Thank you so much.
So I'm looking forward to learning from all of you about India and other countries that you analyzed. You're the ones who can use these kinds of tools to make sense of what's going on in your own country.
Definitely.
And beyond.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Professor.
All right.
Do I need to stop the recording or something like that? Yes. Okay.